Welcome to another segment of All Politics is Local with your host, rJo Winch. Today we have with us an endorsed Democrat for the 7th District running for State Rep, Douglas McCrory. Douglas McCrory is no stranger to his district. He grew up there. He went to school at Harper. Did you go Harper High or Weaver?
I went there, Andy Fisher and Fox Middle.
All right, and then you graduated from University of Hartford where he played basketball, and he still does a lot of great work in the community, with the young people, and also the elderly in his district. And we're going to also talk a little bit about some work that he's done in the Blue Hills area. And in our second segment, we'll have Donna Thompson-Daniel, who is a community leader, an activist from the Blue Hills area, who's going to tell you a little bit more in detail about what that is like. So welcome, Mr. McCrory.
Welcome, and I'm glad to be here with you, Ms. rJo Winch.
All right, so how are you feeling about this election this year?
Well, this is a very important election, not only locally, but also for the state and our country. A lot of things are on the line right now, and it's very important for us to go out there and exercise our constitutional right to vote. And I remind you guys, go out November 6th and vote for the people you think that's going to better serve your community.
Yeah, and in the state of Connecticut, remember that the Democrats are on row B. So if you're in Connecticut, your Dems will be located on row B. And how important is it this year for us to ensure that we get all Democrats elected in Connecticut?
Well, let's start at the federal level. We're going to get our president reelected, or Barack Obama. That's very important. But he needs to have good people to work with him while he's in office. You notice the last 4 years was very difficult for him to get things done in Washington because he didn't have a lot of people around that supported his ideas, his missions. And most of his ideas and missions benefit our community. So we need to have very good people that's going to work with him in Washington. So therefore, it's i.e. important to vote for Senate candidates who's pledged to work with him. It's very important to vote for state representatives, senators, and congressmen who's going to fulfill the same mission that our president has.
Right, because see, what people didn't realize that the last time we put the president in office, we forgot 2 years later that he needed some help.
Right.
So we let the Tea Party and the Republicans kind of take over. And so a lot of the things that he wanted to put in place, they blocked him. And then this year, they're using those things against him, saying he didn't get them done.
Exactly. So we energized, President Obama energized what they call the base in the Democratic Party when we had the first African-American candidate in 2008. And because he got in office, the other party got energized. The Tea Party got energized and said, hey, we're going to checkmate that.
That's right.
So now it's 2012, so we need to come back with vigor and the same enthusiasm we had in 2008 to help this man get 4 more years in office.
Right. And I've been watching MSNBC and a lot of CNN and watching those channels, and they start putting up all these numbers, trying to say that the race is close, that, it's neck and neck. I'm not so sure that that's true. What's your feeling on that?
You know what? I think it is true. There are certain states that this race is very close. It's going to come down to a few states that's going to make it or break it for the president, i.e. Ohio, i.e. Florida, they say in North Carolina. Think about it. Democrat won North Carolina for the first time since 1976.
It's a very Republican state.
It's a very Republican state. It's a very southern state. However, he was able to pull it off. That needs to happen again in order for him to get in office. Colorado needs to come on board, but the bottom line is everybody needs to go back out there, get to the poll, and bring a friend with them to the poll.
Exactly, and because we had a redistricting in the state of Connecticut, people need to be careful about where their voting place is. So if you are not sure where you vote, I know that there is Hartford.gov where you can go to the registrar's office, but if you don't have access, then make the phone call City Hall, and you could reach anyone at City Hall at 860-757-9311 and ask for the name or the department so that you can get that information, because it's very important. We have over 50,000 people registered in the city of Hartford alone, and we need every single one of you out there voting for President Obama's re-election this year. But I'm telling you, the easiest thing to do, find President Obama on row B and go all the way across. Don't stop voting on row B until you get to the end.
I concur. It's very important to know where you vote. Unfortunately, in North Hartford, with the area that I represent, there are people out there campaigning for the president and for Chris Murphy, and they gave out some false information So what I'm going to do is send a letter out to all my constituents and informing them where they actually vote, because it was changed back in 2010 when we had redistricting. And so this is going to be the first time for a number of people voting in new places. And unfortunately, there's been places where people voted to forever. I mean, for years they were used to voting for at one place. Unfortunately, it has been changed. So that information is going to come out of my district. And again, like you said, make sure you get out there and vote and bring a friend with you.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And the voting this year, 2012, is November the 6th. The polls open at 6 a.m. They will close at 8 p.m. If you don't have a ride to the polls, call somebody. If you need a ride to the polls, call the same number. Call the 860-757-9311. They know where most of the headquarters are, and they can get you a number so that someone can get you a ride to the polls. A lot of people have elected to do absentee applications this year. I think that the date for getting them mailed in has passed, but if you can take them down there, you're going to be out of town, going to be on vacation, going to be joining a family early for Thanksgiving, whatever the case is. If you are not going to be present on Tuesday, November the 6th, ensure that you get an absentee application to City Hall so they can mail it back to you in time to get it counted for November the 6th. And just to remind you about who some of the locals are in Connecticut who are running for office in Hartford, you have John Fonfera in the 1st District running for Senate, Eric Coleman in the 2nd District running for Senate. In the 1st District, our guest on the second show was Matthew Ritter. In the 3rd District, you have Minnie Gonzalez. In the 4th District, who was with us last week, Angel Arce. In the 5th District, a newcomer, Brandon McGee. In the 6th District, who will be our guest next week, is Edwin Vargas. And in the 7th District, our guest today, Douglas McCrory. So how are people, like, as y'all call people, because I know you're doing a lot of phone banking, because if you didn't know, there are 2 headquarters in the city of Hartford. There's one at the Carpenters Union. Are they on Weathersfield Avenue?
It's on Weathersfield Avenue, yes.
Weathersfield Avenue on the south end, and then there's a headquarters on the north end of Hartford between, is that Main and Tower. There, all the Democrats are running that out of that office. So we even have a united front this year, and we talked a little bit about last week with Angel about how important it is for their legislators to work together.
Right, it's very important. Like you said, we have campaign headquarters on Main and Tower, and all the Democrats who represent that area are all located in there. And we're all working there. It's a coordinated campaign from the top down. Obama's people in there, Senator Murphy's people are in there, Larson's people, Senator Coleman's people are in there, Matt Ritter's, myself, and Brandon McGee's. So all of our people are working out there. The place is very busy. We have a number of people coming in, working, volunteering their hours, their time, making sure people understand the process, making sure.
And a lot of young people are getting engaged. A lot of young people are getting engaged.
It was great that Brandon won his election. A lot of young people. At one point, I was the young person. Now we have a younger person here. They're bringing that generation along. And,
that's excellent.
And it's exciting that people are learning the process.
Exactly.
It is a process.
It is a process.
And it's something you have to learn. And like I said, there's a lot of experience that's being available over at that headquarters.
So let's talk about Blue Hills a little bit. They have a new Family Dollar over there, which is an opportunity for people in the area to also get employment. So how vital is that to that area?
That was a great establishment to come into the neighborhood. It has been working well within the community. Just opened up about a month ago. It's always busy. I went over there myself one day. The line was so long, I just had to leave out there.
Wow, that's excellent. That's excellent.
But our Blue Hills neighborhood is a beautiful neighborhood. I was born and raised in Blue Hills neighborhood. A lot of my values come from the people who helped raise me in that community, and I appreciate the fact that they give me the opportunity to represent that neighborhood. We're always going to be vibrant. We're always going to be involved. We're going to we're going to raise each other's children. We're going to go to church there. We're going to purchases things in that community. We're going to continue to build our community. We're going to retire there. All I've done was move from one place to another place to another place, and every time I move, I got closer and closer to home. So I like that neighborhood, and we're going to be a very strong and vibrant neighborhood as the years to come. And
then you have the new library over there, right on the corner. The first district kind of splits right down the middle, where one side of Albany Avenue is the 7th district, the other side is the first district.
And not only that, we're working on building a new school over there. You know, the flagship school in our community is Weaver High School.
Absolutely.
And we would like to see the community get behind the fact that we need that high school built, and we would like to see the city of Hartford build that high school there.
And what's going on with the Milner School? I'm hearing that that's going to become another part of Jamoke.
Right. Currently, right now, because of the legislation that we passed last year, the Education Reform Act, it gave opportunities for charter schools and magnet schools to work with the public school, the traditional public schools. And right now, what happened is there's a partnership between Jamoke School and Thurman Milner Elementary School, the firm formerly Vine Street School, and then it's being managed by Jamoke Academy. Jamoke has an outstanding reputation for educating children in our community. It's the #1 school in the state of Connecticut for educating African American children. The data says for itself. So we can parlay that and go in there and help the children in the Martin Luther King School District and in the Vine Street School District. That's nothing but a plus for our community.
So now, is it going to be Jamoke at Milner, Jamoke Academy at Milner?
Well, no, actually it's the other way around.
Thurman Milner
School, i.e. Jamoke Academy.
Okay,
so it's still titled Thurman Milner School, but it's being managed by Jamoke.
Okay, because people were concerned about losing the name. Exactly. Of the school.
Think about it. It's two great names.
Absolutely.
You got Thurman Milner, the first African American mayor of the city of Hartford, first actually mayor in New England, first black mayor in New England, and you got Jamoke Academy, which was founded by Dr. Thelma Dickinson. So you
who died just a couple of years ago.
Yeah, we passed away, but she passed on tradition that is embedded in our community, which is what education is important and our kids can learn.
Exactly. So you hear it here on accesstv.org. Remember, you're tuned in today with rJo Winch and my guest, Douglas McCrory from the 7th District. And we're talking about all politics is local. Sometimes people look at television and see politics and they think that it's far away, but actually it's right at your door. Things like where your children go to school, what educational opportunities are offered to your child. Those are political issues. And how often do we see our people, meaning inner city young people, getting up to the state capitol?
Oh gosh, we don't. We're not. Actually, the state capitol is actually in the 7th District now. It's in the 7th District, yes. Because of the redistricting. The 7th District encompasses the state capitol. It's very important that we come up there and express our concerns and our wishes for what we would like to see happen. We don't see enough people from our own community there, and unfortunately, that doesn't work well for us.
Because they assume that the people don't care.
Right, and everyone cares. I mean, everyone cares for what's best for their child. They want good health. They want good education. They might have a different way of showing it, but they all want what's best. One more thing I want to add about the Blue Hills area. Coming this Friday, there's going to be a section of Albany Avenue renamed after William Brown.
Give us the date, because I don't know when people might be clicking.
This Friday is November. I believe it's November 2nd.
The 2nd. It is the 2nd. It is the 2nd.
At 11 o'clock, they're going to have a naming ceremony for William Brown, who used to be the president of the Urban League in City Hartford. Most of us know. And we're going to name the area of Albany Avenue between Blue Hills Avenue and Woodland Street. William Bill Brown Way.
Nice.
And dedication to all the hard work he did for the city of Hartford that opened up doors for a number of people for employment opportunities, for better education. And then later on that evening, the Urban League is having a dinner.
And then when I was on the council, you were talking about doing Ida B. Wells.
Yep, we
did that one. And then we did Richard Weaver Bay
and
Jesse Smith and Jackie McClain. And so people was kind of talking about, when I was on council, we was going through these things. Well, how come we have all these different names and we don't need to be naming streets after all these people? I'm like, but we do, because it's a history lesson.
Right.
As people travel around the city of Hartford, they know exactly who was there, who laid foundations, and people can ask questions. Well, why is this Jackie McClain? Why is this, Warlaw? Why is this Richard Weaver Bay? Why is that, what's her name, down on Main?
What's
the Hispanic, Maria Sanchez. Why are these people's names on these corners? And that's a history lesson, so people can know the rich history of what was going inside the city of Hartford. Also, Mr. George Ritter, was from way back in the day when my mother and them were young and talking about things that were going on in politics. We have a multicultural community and a multicultural city, and I'm so proud to be a part of what is going on inside the city of Hartford and our surrounding towns.
Well, just to piggyback on what you said, we are who we are because we come from the backs of all those people you named.
Mm-hmm.
Those people guided us. They were leaders back in their era, and we learned from them. And it's important for our children to understand that they're gonna know about us, but they need to know who we learn from
Exactly.
also. So like you say, when they drive down the street, they see that name, they might ask that question, well, who's yeah, and then you can explain to them, that's history. That's how we were taught in Africa. We were taught by storytelling. People remind you of who did what and who did what for who back in the day. And that sense of storytelling will continue in our community when you see those names up on those street corners. Hopefully one day we can name the whole street after someone, and that would really be powerful.
Like we have Ella Cromwell Way. You know, we try to do that Ella Cromwell Street, but when the people don't understand the process, you know, it kind of delineates what you're trying to do. Same thing with the Thomas Parish Corner.
Right.
We try to name the complex after Thomas Parish, but yeah, when the family doesn't understand, then sometimes they think they're doing the best on behalf of their loved one, but you kind of like depleting what the community and the city, what the government wants to do for them if you don't really understand what that is. And in today's technology, if you change the street name, the postal service will catch up. So if you change your name to Douglas McCrory Street, then it could be Vine, but eventually it's going to catch up with the zip code. They're going to know that that's the name of the street.
Prime example, Harlem, New York, 125th Street, you got Malcolm X Boulevard. All those streets were not named Malcolm X or Frederick Douglass Way. They eventually got that way because people in that community demanded that. That's what they want for their community. And that's what some of the things that we have to do, demand what we want for our community, and we'll get it.
Right, and see, and you mentioned such a good thing about demand, you know, for your community. And how do legislators know that these are the things that your community demand? It's that you need to go there. You need to call them. You need to contact them. You need to make yourself available, not only during those times, but in other times. Your legislators need you as much as you need them. So if you have issues, they can't come and respond to your issues if they don't know what they are. You represent over, about 3,000 people in with the redistricting?
Oh, no, we got... Actually, state reps represent over 20,000 people.
So you have over 20,000 people inside your district alone? There's 20,000? All right, so that's a whole lot of people. So he can't read the minds of 20,000 people. If you need something from your state rep, you're going to need to contact him.
And you can rest assured, if you live in my district, I'm going to respond to your phone call because they're the ones who put me in office.
And what's the number they can reach you?
They can reach me at 860-240-8515. That number again, 860-240-8515. That's my number at the Capitol. I have an aide, outstanding young lady named Kelly Gilbert. She answers the phone every day. We talk every day. If you have a question or concern, please reach out.
All right, so there you are. You heard it. State Rep Douglas McCrory from the 7th District says that anytime you have an issue, if you live in the 7th District, you can give him a call. And I will say if you don't live in the 7th District, you still can give him a call because remember, every district is represented by local elected officials. And if he knows what district you're in, he can contact your state rep for you or the senator who represents your district for you and have that individual get in contact with you or have their office get in contact with you. It's not always a good idea to go up to the state capitol because you don't know when they're in and when they're not. So make the phone call first. Ensure that somebody knows that you're intending to try to get in touch with them, and then that way you won't be disappointed when you go to look for your state rep and they're not there. Because remember, this is a part-time job. They all have full-time employment that they have to go to. So how is that? You still in the school system?
Yep, I'm still an educator in the Capital Region Education Council School District. This is my 20th year in education.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm getting up there.
I was going to say, you didn't look older than 25.
Yeah, I know. That's a good one. But yeah, 20 years in education, you know, that's where my heart is. That's where if we really want to improve our quality of life, if we want to build on our future, we have to properly prepare
with the children.
Our young people. And it's good that we did some great things last year at the Capitol when we did some education reform. Still a lot more work to be done.
Absolutely.
So it won't never stop. It will continue to work.
As long as people are having children, we're going to have to continue to work. So we want to thank you for joining with us this segment with our state representative, Douglas McCrory. And then stay tuned. We'll come back with Donna Thompson-Daniel.
My name is Brian Johnson, and I'm here today to talk about the challenge. I guess what I would like to know from America or the Hartford area is what is the problem and what is the solution, which is bigger when we discuss the challenge. What we're trying to figure out what's wrong or what we're trying to solve. Is it a philosophical difference that we have amongst our people, or is it a practical difference? Throughout our neighborhoods, many of us can't read or write. If we can't read or write, that prevents us from thinking critically. So we are at a disadvantage coming into this game. So we challenge you to think about some of those things. And through the course of our challenge, we're going to present you with some information that we hope gets you to think about yourself and the community in which you live, and what your role is and how you can help affect change in that community.
Hi, I'm Lori, your host of Up to Date, a calendar show that features all the greatest activities in current events that are taking place in our greater Hartford community. In the coming week, all you have to do is visit accesstv.org and you will be able to find out what's going on without having to look all over to find it. We'll have it all there for you. So get ready, there's a lot of information to share. Grab a paper, pen, and sit back, because you know you're going to love it, because now you won't have to look to find all this information. We got it covered.
Welcome back to our next segment of All Politics is Local with your host, rJo Winch. We want to let you know that this segment of the show is sponsored by the Ebony Horsewomen, Inc. They are also have United Way contributions that you make every year. You can contribute to them at the United Way. Their number is 5041. Again, that's the Ebony Horsewomen at 5041. Many of you should know, if you're in the city of Hartford, that the Ebony Horsewomen is the only equestrian center in New England located inside the north end of the city of Hartford. You can also reach them for CFC. The number is 60748. So when you want to know about where to put those contributions, make sure you're contributing to nonprofit organizations in your community. And this part of our program happens to be brought to you by the Ebony Horsewomen, Inc. So how you doing? Talking about community, I have with me Donna Thompson-Daniel. I swear we would not have enough time on this show to tell you about all the things that Donna Thompson-Daniel does. I mean, the list is long. I mean, it could be outside the screen, but I know Donna from formerly being on the town committee. I also know her from Blue Hill Civic Association, and we talked a little bit to Representative Douglas McCrory about the Family Dollar in Blue Hills. Donna was the #1 person out there starting to make sure that happened in her community. She does block watch. She's an Obama fanatic. Matter of fact, Obama rides with her in her car on the windshield, that is. So welcome, Donna.
I wish he was live in the car.
Michelle might have something to say about that.
But no, I'm excited. This is really, really a time for us to get together and vote for Obama. Our president has done so many things for us, and everything he said he was going to do in 08, he has accomplished, and he would have liked to accomplish more. So we as women, we need to get out there and vote for him, because he is for us.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you brought up the women piece, because I was going to try to figure out how I got into that today, and I don't know any woman who is like thinking about what healthcare means to her, what advancement, what things mean for her and her daughters coming after her, or grandmother, would vote for a Republican this year. Yeah. I am so surprised that they like blatantly are saying, well, this is what we, the man, thinks that women should have. So I don't know about them, but I'm telling you, I was having a conversation with somebody the other day, and I said, you know what, they feel that way unless it happens to their wife or happens to their daughter. Because I don't know any man who would want their 13-year-old, 14-year-old, 25-year-old daughter to be raped and then carry a baby full term.
Yes, And I reiterate to all of you women out there that you must get out and vote for President Obama, because he knows what it means to have young daughters. He knows what it means to have a wife who has to have medical treatment. So we know that we need to depend on him. So if we depend on him, he has to depend on us. So we have to work hand in hand with him. So get out, women, and vote. Bring a sister with you, your mother, your daughter, everybody who is 18 and over. Make sure they are registered to vote.
Exactly. We want to be a significant voting bloc this year. We want women to actually, control the outcome, of the election this year. We want women to get out there and unite and show that we are a voting bloc, that we're educated about the system. We understand what the system can or cannot or does not do for us. And that's an interesting, analogy that you make there, because look at Governor Romney has 4 sons. President Obama has 2 daughters. So that right there kind of like gives me something else, to think about. Do people with raising boys and people who are raising girls have different views about what healthcare should be like?
And I think they do, because we can see that in both people who are running for that office, that they think differently about what healthcare for women should be. And as a student at the Capital Community College in Hartford, I've had an opportunity to talk to so many young girls there, making sure they're registered to vote, making sure they understand why they need to vote for President Obama, or why they need to vote for whoever it is they would choose to vote for. But if you ask me the question about President Obama and why about his health care, then I will give you the information, tell you where you can go read about it for yourself. But we need to, as women, understand this is an important election, and we need to be out there in full force.
This is an extremely important election. And not only that, I was at a child care union meeting, because I'm with the SEIU, and they support President Obama, because they say President Obama is out there to support the 99%, because we remember the comments that Governor Romney was making about the 47% of us, because I'm included in that number, that we didn't matter to him, that he's not worried about how we feel about his decisions. So President Obama is working for the 99%, saying the 1% who are the multimillionaires, billionaires, can basically kind of, wing it and take care of themselves. And we were talking a little bit to Representative Doug McCrory earlier about education. And so as a child care provider, they were letting us know that as you are a child care provider, that education starts there. It doesn't start when the child gets into the schoolhouse, when they're going to pre-K or kindergarten. It starts before they get there. So, and it is 100% pre-K should be funded across America. All young children at the age of 3 should have free pre-care. The government mandates that children have an education till the 12th grade. So we want to make sure that they get started early and that every child has an opportunity to graduate.
And now that you're talking about children, I happened to be at a restaurant, which is Mr. Pizza in the Blue Hills community yesterday. And there were
I love Mr. Pizza.
There are a lot of young children inside Mr. Pizza. So I had an opportunity to say to them, make sure you tell your parent to vote. They need to get out there and vote. Exactly. And they was like, yes, we'll tell them. So even the students are very enthused about voting, so they want to make sure that they vote for the right person.
Right, even the little people, my granddaughter, Desharia, my birthday present, she'll be on one of the shows. She said, Grandma, I want to come and tell everybody they should vote for President Obama. I said, why? She said, because he wanted to make sure that women have health care. This is a 5-year-old kid, so if children at that age are paying attention, she said, oh yeah, and he likes women. So she doesn't mean, that he likes women, but she's hearing all the negative things that other people are saying about what women don't need, and she recognized that he's saying these are the things that he supports that women do need. So even the young people, like you said, are really paying attention this year to the election. So it is very, very important. I'm excited. I want to think that this is going to be a record-breaking voting year for even in Hartford. And, in a place that they say, we don't get out and vote. We don't get to the polls. We don't, let our voice be heard. I'm excited this year that I think that even Hartford, Connecticut is going to break the voting record.
Yes, and I think that's going to be very important for us to go forward if we want to get things done in our community.
Mm-hmm. And now your son is also involved in the Fire Explorers, yes, which I'm so proud of.
Yes, he's been in there since he's 14 years old. Daniel. Now he's 20. I think they're going to kick him out when he turns 21.
Or get employed as a firefighter.
He's been volunteering there for that long. So he really enjoys it. It's funny because when he first started, he didn't really want to go. I used to make him go. And as the time went on, he just blossomed. So now he's a lieutenant there.
Go Ramon. Go. And I saw something on Facebook the other day said, do single moms raise good presidents? You know, because you look at President Clinton, you look at President Obama, you know, and you're a parent, you know, of sons. I have daughters, you know, of sons, and you got to push them.
Yes.
You know, you got to push your children because they don't want to always go. So you try to encourage them to get out and do. Even my daughter's 24, and I'm still saying, you know, Shaquatia, do. She gonna kill me, but anyway. She's like, don't use me as an example, you know. But I always want her to do more. I always want her to, you know, exceed what she thinks that she's able to accomplish. And I do the same thing with my granddaughter. She's 5 years old. She goes to, you know, Capital Prep, and sometimes her mom and I have disagreements about what the school is doing. But I'm like, no, you have to believe in the system. If the school is going to be successful, parents have to believe in what is being taught. You got to have 100% participation on the child's part and 100% participation on your part, because that's why magnet charter schools work. Because they also employ the parent.
Yes. And when we're talking about volunteering, you know, that's something I love to do. I volunteer on a regular basis. People always ask me, "You getting paid for what you're doing, right?" I'm like, no. Everything I do is a volunteer. So to get my children involved is really important to me, because now my daughter wants to volunteer and go do the police department.
Oh, nice.
So she wants to get on their little roster for, you know, for a cadet.
The cadet.
Or explorer. So that makes me feel good, because that means, wow, they really seeing what I'm doing. Just because they're saying they don't want to do what I do.
Right. They're
in
still
actuality,
watching.
They're doing what I'm doing because they're
watching.
volunteering their time.
Exactly.
And my son Ramon, he volunteers to repair computers at Weaver and Hartford High.
Oh.
He doesn't get paid to do that. A lot of students know him there. They say, I see your son up at the school all the time. He's an IT guy, but he doesn't get paid for that. He volunteers his time.
See, now there is an IT shop on Blue Hills, though.
There is.
iTech?
It's
iTech or Intech something?
Yes, and it's right on Blue Hills in between Harold and Burnham Street.
Yeah, so. You all have a lot of shops of them. It's almost like a little, how they have that place over in West Hartford, Blue Hills. It's kind of like that. There's the eatery. There's a new West Indian place over there. Mr. Pizza, the iTech, the beauty shop, the dry cleaners, the grocery store, the library. What is it you don't have in Blue Hills?
Well, what we would like to see is an African American soul food sit-down restaurant in our neighborhood. We've had a lot of people talking about that, you know, lately. That's something they would like to see. But we are getting a daycare center. It's just about.
I forgot about the daycare.
Yeah, it's just about finished. Our liquor store, it's moving up towards the block, and it's getting bigger. So he's going to be in a larger space. The dollar store is there now, so that's bringing in a lot of business into the Blue Hills.
A lot of economic development in that area.
Yes. And then the playground, the Ruby Long Croninfield playground has started about a month ago, and I can't wait till that's finished, because it's really going to bring about a lot of fun for the families who live in the Blue Hills community.
Right, and let me tell you, Donna's really, like, not really tooting her own horn here, but I will, because all those things that she lists that are going on inside the Blue Hills area, trust me, she had an impact in every single one of them. Because when I was on council, Donna always made it her business to come down to City Hall. I don't care what was going on. She was always there to advocate for Blue Hills. She loves her community. She loves her area, and she wanted to make sure that those things happen. So she's a prime example of what can happen when you stay in touch with your legislators and make sure that you really understand how all politics is definitely local. We want to thank our sponsor for this show, the Ebony Horsewomen. You all can also reach them on Facebook. Make sure that you're supporting nonprofit organizations in your community, because all politics is local.